morning. For joining us, I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And another gorgeous day yesterday. Another one today?
Yes, it's just going to be, I think it's going to be cold because it's been in the 60s, 70s. It'll just be highs in the lower 50s today.
Ooh.
So like 40s, 50s, windy, maybe a little bit cold.
A little different.
Yes, but still be seeing sunshine,
That's
which is good. So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We are seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s, so patchy frost is possible this morning. It looks like, especially to the north, as we see 33 degrees in Inlet. But then for the rest of us, right near 40 degrees, 39 degrees in Whitesboro, and 40 degrees in Westmoreland and Cooperstown. Still dry on our Yorkville battery. Storm Tracker 2 at Doppler radar. We will be seeing sunny skies today. Windy though. That wind has shifted to a northerly wind, so we shouldn't really be seeing any haze from the western wildfires today. So we should be seeing mostly sunny skies. Temperatures just reaching the 50s though, so it's cooler and windy. Widespread frost is expected tonight. We remain clear and drop into the upper 20s, so make sure you bring in those sensitive plants or you cover them tonight. There's going to be a chilly start tomorrow. We will warm up back into the 60s and then into the 70s on Friday. So for today, expect highs just in the 50s, sunshine, pretty windy outside as well. I will talk a little bit more about this frost expected coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The ballots have been counted and the results are in.
Welcome back. Our next chance of frost is going to be tonight. And once again, when to expect the final frost looks to be mid-May, so right around this time for the Mohawk Valley, later May for the North Country, Southern Valleys, and then early June up for the Adirondacks and Old Forge area. So I would definitely recommend waiting to plant, but if you do have any plants outside, I would definitely bring them in for tonight. So as we look at our temperatures, tonight we do get pretty chilly. We fall to overnight lows in the upper 20s, but then looking to at the end of the week into next week, looks like our overnight lows will stay in the 40s, even 50s for Friday overnight. So it should still stay on the warmer side with not really any frost expected after tonight because we will be in the 60s and 70s as well during the day. So gardening outside, you probably don't need to water for most of this week, even into next week. Or you probably do need to water, excuse me. Saturday you don't because that's our next chance of rain. And then once again, definitely bring in any plants or cover them tonight because widespread frost is expected. Gary.
Anna, thank you. MVHS is getting
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some clouds this morning. It is a little bit chilly, and it is going to remain on the cooler side today. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. We can see cloudy skies to start. That did keep us above freezing here in the Mohawk Valley last night, but temperatures are just around and below freezing up north. So as you do head out the door this morning, we are tracking temperatures in the 30s to 40s. So a little bit of frost may be possible to areas to the north, but otherwise the rest of us are seeing some cloudy skies and temperatures right around 40 degrees. So here's a look at that. We do have 31 degrees in Big Moose and 33 degrees in Inlet. And then we have 40 degrees in Dowdesville and Westmoreland. And if we take a look to the south, we have 40 degrees in Cooperstown and 38 degrees in Skenevis. But highs today are just going to reach the mid-50s. So we'll be on the cooler side, and it still is going to be windy. Dry conditions on the Yorkville battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar, and the wind has shifted. So it has shifted to a northerly wind rather than a westerly wind like we saw yesterday, bringing in some extra haze from those wildfires out to the west. So now that the wind has shifted, we shouldn't be seeing any haze or smoky skies today. We should be seeing sunshine once these clouds do push out this morning. Once again, windy today, temperatures just in the 50s, so it will be on the cooler side. We'll see the wind die down a little bit tomorrow, so we'll get a break in the wind tomorrow, and then we do get windy again for the end of the week and into the weekend. It is going to get pretty chilly tonight, though, so we do have a freeze watch. That's in effect for most of us, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, and Otsego counties. And then we have a freeze warning that's in effect for Lewis County. This does go into effect tonight, 11 p.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow. If you do have any sensitive plants outside, I would definitely recommend bringing them in or covering them. Then we will warm up for Thursday and Friday with our next chance of rain on Saturday. At this point, it's still up in the air. We do have the one model showing that it's going to be raining all day on Saturday. Saturday starting in the morning. And we have another model saying the rain won't come in until after 2 p.m. on Saturday. So we will keep you updated on the timing of that. So for today, once again, cooler and windy. At noon, we'll just be near 50 in the upper 40s and in the lower to mid 50s for the high temperature. Should be seeing sunshine, no smoky skies as the wind is coming from the north. Then overnight, we fall into the upper 20s with widespread frost expected. Tomorrow, we will warm up though. At noon, we'll be in the mid 50s and the mid 60s for the high temperature later. Really not that much wind compared to the past couple of days, and we will be seeing sunshine. So for today, expect sunshine, windy conditions, lower to mid 50s, and then tonight, widespread frost is expected. Tomorrow, we'll warm up into the 60s and into the 70s on Friday, and then we will keep you updated with that start time of rain on Saturday, Gary.
So not too bad of a day, just a little chillier.
Yes, I would say I'll probably be cold. I'm always cold, but it's been in the 60s and 70s, so 50s is a little bit different.
The folks who love the fall will love today.
Yes.
Sure. Hannah, thanks. Well, time now for some thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And a bit chilly for us, but no frost down here in the Utica area.
Yes, so the frost and freeze warning is going to be for tonight, not last night. So tonight we're going to be seeing frost and freeze because we're going to fall into the upper 20s.
But they did have some frost up north
Yes,
overnight.
just a little bit up north because we are around freezing up there. But then we saw clouds overnight here that kept us in the upper 30s, so not below freezing. Let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We are in the upper 30s for most of us this morning, and then around freezing up north. We do have 32 degrees in Inlet, and then we have 39 degrees in Cooperstown and Westmoreland. So a bit chilly to start this morning, but we'll warm up a little bit today. So we will remain dry. This is our York Full Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and we're just going to reach the 50s. So it actually is going to feel a little bit cooler today. It will remain windy. That wind has shifted to a northerly wind rather than a westerly, so we shouldn't really be seeing any haze or smoky skies from the wildfires out west. So today is going to be cool and windy, but we should be seeing sunshine. No haze or smoke is really expected as that wind has shifted. We'll just be in the 50s, and tonight we'll drop into the upper 20s. Widespread frost is possible, so make sure you're prepared for that. Tomorrow we'll warm up back into the 60s. So for today, expect just the low to mid 50s. Windy conditions with sunshine. I will talk a little bit more about that frost expected coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, the government default.
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. I did want to mention today that we're going to be seeing very low relative humidity, so really dry air, and it is going to be windy. So I definitely recommend not burning anything today because it can spread pretty quickly, as we'll just be in the 50s with windy conditions and dry air as well. Today, once again, just the 50s. Tomorrow will be a little bit warmer, mid 60s, and then we will reach the lower 70s again on Friday. Friday looks like the warmest day over these next coming days, and then we'll be back into the 60s, almost near 70 over the weekend. So today we are going to be seeing some frost possible tonight. Overnight lows fall into the upper 20s. So once again, the National Weather Service does have a freeze watch in effect for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Matashinango, and Otsego counties. And then we do have a freeze warning in effect for Lewis County for all of tonight. Gary?
Welcome back, winter.
Yes, of course.
At least it's just overnight.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are seeing some clouds this morning, and it is a bit chilly. It will remain on the cooler side today. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As we can see, some cloud cover, but clouds are decreasing here this morning. We will be seeing sunshine today, but it won't warm up too much. Highs are just going to be in the 50s. So right now we are starting off with some patchy frost to the north. 32 degrees in Inlet, 30 degrees in Big Moose. And then we're a little bit warmer for the Mohawk Valley and south. We have 40 degrees in Dowdesville, and taking a look to the south, 40 degrees in Cooperstown as well. We'll just reach the lower 50s today, and it is going to be windy, so we'll be on the cooler side. We are dry on our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We will be seeing sunshine today, and it is going to remain windy, but that wind has shifted. It is now a northerly wind compared to westerly winds like yesterday. So that westerly wind was bringing in some smoke and haze into our atmosphere, but that shouldn't be a problem today since the wind has shifted. So we will be seeing sunshine, once again, still on the cooler side and still windy. We do get a break in those wind speeds tomorrow, but then it gets windy again for Friday and for the weekend. Tonight, a frost is possible. So we do have a freeze watch. That's in effect for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, Shenango, Otsego counties. And we have a freeze warning in effect for Lewis County. So just keep that in mind. That goes into effect for all of tonight. If you do have any plants outside, definitely cover them and bring them inside because overnight lows are expected to fall into the upper 20s. So we'll warm up for Thursday, Friday. Our next chance of rain is Saturday. At this point, the models are still in disagreement. We have one model showing that it will be raining for most of the day on Saturday, coming in the morning and lasting all day. And then we do have another model showing that the rain doesn't look to come in until later, around 1, 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on that when these models do start to agree. But it looks like we will be seeing some rain on Saturday. So on our Skycast today, we will be seeing sunshine just in the upper 40s at noon and in the low 50s for the high temperature with that wind coming out of the north. So it is going to feel pretty chilly outside compared to what we have been seeing. Tonight we remain clear. That's how we see lows fall into the upper 20s. Frost is definitely likely tonight and it will be widespread. Heading into tomorrow, we warm up a bit more. At noon tomorrow, we'll be in the mid 50s and the mid 60s for the high temperature. Not really too much wind tomorrow, so we'll feel a little bit better. So for today, expect the clouds to make way for sunshine, windy conditions, just the low 50s today, and then we drop into the upper 20s tonight with clear skies. Tomorrow we'll warm up into the 60s and then into the 70s on Friday. We do see some type of rain on Saturday, but we will keep you updated on the start time of that. Gary.
So the possibility of some frost tomorrow morning.
Yes, so definitely keep that in mind for tonight. Just bring anything inside that you don't want to, get frost on it.
And a chilly bus stop tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. The time right now is 5:50. Joining us, I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And a bit of a chilly start for us, but no frost down here at least.
Yeah, so just a little bit probably expected up north this morning, and then we'll really see the frost tonight.
So bring those plants in if you can, right?
Yes, or cover them because tonight it's expected that we're going to be seeing some frost. So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We are mostly around 40 degrees this morning, a little bit cooler to the north, 32 degrees in Inlet. Then we have 37 degrees in Whitesboro, 39 degrees in Westmoreland and Cooperstown. We'll just reach the low 50s today, though, so it is going to be a cool day. Still windy, but dry. Here's our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Seeing sunshine today, and the wind has shifted to a northerly wind. So it is looking like we're not going to be seeing that smoke and that haze blown in today from the wildfires to the west. So you shouldn't be really seeing that today. We'll be seeing sunshine, but it's going to be cooler and windy. Widespread frost is expected tonight as we drop into the upper 20s, and then we'll warm up tomorrow with no frost expected, at least for the next 6 days on our 7-day forecast after tonight. So for today, expect the clouds to break up this morning. We'll be seeing sunshine, low 50s. It will be windy. I will talk a little bit more about that frost expected coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. The ballots have been counted and the results are in local school.
Welcome back. Frost is expected tonight once again. So just a little reminder when to expect the final frost. Mid-May is looking like for the Mohawk Valley, so just around this time. Late May for the North Country and the Southern Valleys, and early June up for the Adirondacks and the Old Forge area. So looking ahead on our 7-day forecast and the next couple of days in terms of temperature, it looks like tonight is the last night for frost, at least for the foreseeable future. We're still going to be seeing overnight lows over the next couple of days in the 40s and 50s rather than below freezing. But once again, tonight frost expected. Definitely bring the plants in or cover them, and you probably do need to water them over the next couple of days and not on Saturday, because Saturday is our next chance of rain. Gary.
Anna, thank you. MVHS is getting surgery.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some clouds this morning, and it is a little bit chilly, but it won't warm up too much today. So let's take a look at downtown Utica. As you can see, some clouds, but we are seeing a few peaks of sunshine. Clouds make way for sunshine today, but it's going to be cooler and windy with highs just in the 50s. Our sky watchers have us mostly around 40 degrees this morning, but up north we are around freezing. 30 degrees in Old Forge, 32 degrees in Inlet, and then we do have 40 degrees in Deerfield and New Hartford. And if we take a look to the south, we have 36 degrees in Hartwick and 39 degrees in Milford, in Morris, and in West Lawrence. Highs today will just reach the 50s. We will be seeing sunshine and dry conditions. This is our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. But it is going to be windy once again. That wind has shifted, though, and it is now a northerly wind compared to a westerly like it was yesterday. So with that westerly wind yesterday, we were seeing some haze and smoke coming in from wildfires out west. But today, since it is northerly, we shouldn't really be seeing any of that. We should be seeing sunshine. And the wind will die down a little bit more tomorrow, so we do get a break in that wind tomorrow, but it does remain windy again heading into Friday and the weekend. It's also going to get pretty chilly tonight. Overnight lows fall into the upper 20s tonight, so we do have a freeze watch in effect for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison-Shenango, and Otsego County. That's for all of tonight, and we have a freeze warning in effect for Lewis County. So be prepared tonight. If you do have any plants outside that are sensitive to frost, bring them in or cover them, because it is likely we will be seeing widespread frost overnight. We warm up tomorrow and Friday with no frost expected. Then rain returns on Saturday. We are still in disagreement on what time it looks to start. This one model has it raining all day, starting in the morning and continuing for the day. And then this other model has it starting after 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on that, because there is still disagreement on when it does start. But it looks like we will be seeing rain on Saturday. So on our Skycast today, we will be dry but chilly. At noon, just in the upper 40s, mid 50s for the high temperature, and it is going to be windy coming out of the north. Then tonight, widespread frost expected as we remain clear and just fall to the upper 20s. Then tomorrow we'll warm up quickly. At noon, we'll be in the mid 50s and then the mid 60s for the high temperature, less of a wind with sunshine. So for today, expect the clouds to make way for sun. We'll be in the low 50s. Windy conditions, and then tonight widespread frost is possible as we fall into the upper 20s. Tomorrow we'll warm up into the 60s, and then we'll be in the 70s on Friday. Our next chance of rain does look to come in on Saturday, but it looks like at this point some of the models are in disagreement on what time it starts. Gary?
But it is going to rain Saturday.
Yes.
Just a matter of when.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. Now, time for some. Thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
And a bit chilly out there for the kids at the bus stop this morning.
Yes, we're in the upper 30s mostly, and then today we'll just reach the 50s and we'll be windy.
Feels like fall, right?
Yes, it will feel like fall today, but then we'll warm up a little bit more tomorrow and Friday.
Good.
So just today. So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. Most of us are in the 30s, right around 40 degrees, but we are a little bit cooler to the north, 32 degrees in Inlet, and then we have 37 degrees in Whitesboro, 42 degrees in Richfield Springs with dry conditions. This is our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. The clouds this morning will make way for sunshine. Today it is going to be windy, but the wind is northerly now. Yesterday it was westerly, so we were seeing some smoke and some haze getting blown in, but today that shouldn't really be an issue because the wind has shifted to a northerly wind, so we should still be seeing sunshine. It's going to be cooler and windy today, highs just in the 50s. We drop to the 20s tonight, so widespread frost is expected, and then we will warm up again tomorrow. So for today, expect sunshine, highs reaching the low 50s, and windy. I will talk a little bit more about that frost tonight coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. The government
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Welcome back. Today it is going to be windy and it is going to be really dry with really low humidity. So I definitely recommend not burning anything today because it can spread pretty easily with this low humidity and the windy weather. Highs today are just going to be in the 50s, and then we do see lows tonight fall into the upper 20s. So frost is possible, but we'll start to warm up tomorrow and Friday, and even to the weekend. No more chance of frost. But because of this, National Weather Service has put most of our area under a freeze watch. That includes Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, Shenango, and Otsego counties, and a freeze warning for Lewis County, and that will be for tonight through tomorrow morning. Gary.
All right, Hannah, sounds good. Thank you. Just ahead of Memorial Day and
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out a bit chilly this morning, and it is going to remain cooler and windy today. Let's take a look now at downtown Utica. We can see clouds to start here this morning, so it did stay pretty warm overnight. We were just in at the upper 30s. Up north, it did get a little bit cooler. We saw temperatures around freezing. So let's take a look at what our sky watchers have. We do have 30 degrees in Old Forge, 32 degrees in Inlet, but then in the Mohawk Valley and south, we have 40 degrees in Deerfield and New Hartford, and same thing too at the south. We have 37 degrees in Cooperstown, 39 degrees in Milford, Morris, and in West Lawrence. But highs today are just going to reach the low 50s. Here is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 at Doppler radar. Dry conditions here this morning. We are seeing a little extra cloud cover. Those clouds do make way for sunshine today, and it is going to be windy, but the wind has shifted. It is now a northerly wind. Yesterday it was a westerly wind, so we were seeing some more smoke and haze being blown in from western wildfires. That shouldn't be the case today, as we do see the wind continue from the north. We will be seeing the clouds make way for some sun. So Nala and her neighbors this morning are happy that they're going to be seeing sun today, but they're not happy that it's going to get really cold tonight. Today she's saying hi to Maisie and Flaker. They look a little bit annoyed about the frost expected tonight. So this morning it's pretty cool. Will be windy today on the cooler side in the low 50s, and then frost is expected tonight. Because of this, the National Weather Service does have a freeze watch in effect for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, Shenango, and Otsego counties, and a freeze warning for Lewis County that goes into effect at 11 p.m. tonight and lasts until 9 a.m. tomorrow. So if you do have any plants outside, definitely bring them in or cover them, because frost is expected. Then we warm up for tomorrow and Friday with no frost. We see our next chance of rain on Saturday. Models are still in disagreement about this. The one model does have rain for all day on Saturday, heavy at times. Then the other model doesn't have rain and coming in until after 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on the start time and how heavy the rain is going to be. But at this point, it does look like we will be seeing rain Saturday. So today on our Skycast, we will be seeing clouds make way for sun. At noon, it's just going to be in the mid to upper 40s, so still pretty chilly. And then we'll just be in the low 50s for the high temperature with that stronger wind coming from the north. We remain clear tonight. Overnight lows fall into the upper 20s, so widespread frost is possible. And then tomorrow we'll warm up a bit more. We'll be in the mid 50s at noon, mid 60s for the high temperature, and we will be seeing less of a wind. So for today, expect the clouds to make way for sun. Low 50s, windy conditions, and then widespread frost tonight as we fall into the upper 20s. Then tomorrow we'll warm up into the 60s, into the 70s on Friday, and our next chance of rain is Saturday. We'll let you know about the start time of that. Gary.
hey, Sunday looks great, though.
Yeah, so after Saturday it looks fine again. Just
So a
one
little
day.
rain depending on when on Saturday, and then nice on Sunday.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. Well, a trip through
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Libertor
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Hannah Evans.
with some good news of a warm-up, but not that big of a warm-up.
Yeah, we'll just be in the low 50s today. It's going to be windy, so it's going to feel a lot cooler than what we've been
A
seeing.
little like fall almost.
Yes, like fall. But then the good news is it will warm up again tomorrow and Friday.
Beautiful.
So let's take a look now at the temperatures to start. We are a little bit chilly this morning, 37 degrees in Whitesboro and Cooperstown, 32 degrees in Inlet, start. We are dry, though, on our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. Today, we will be seeing clouds make way for some sun. It's going to be windy, though, but that wind has turned northerly, so it's coming from the north, so we shouldn't really be seeing the smoke and haze that we saw yesterday with that westerly wind. So it is going to be cooler and windy today with some sun. We do see widespread frost tonight as lows fall into the upper 20s, but then we'll warm back up for tomorrow and Friday. So for today, expect some sun to come in, highs in the low 50s, windy conditions, and I will talk a little bit more about that frost expected coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The ballots have been counted and the results are...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with some clouds this morning. It is a little bit chilly, and it is going to remain cooler today. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As you can see, cloudy skies to start. Once again, a little bit chilly, but temperatures today are just going to reach the low 50s. So our sky watchers have us in the 30s to 40s this morning. 30 degrees in Old Forge, and then 40 degrees in Deerfield and New Hartford. And if we take a look to the south, we have 38 degrees in Evanston and 42 degrees in Lawrence. We will just reach the low 50s today, but we will remain dry. This is our Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. Clouds will make way for some sun, and it is going to be windy, but the wind today is northerly. So yesterday was westerly, now it is northerly, so we shouldn't really be seeing any smoke or any haze that we did see yesterday from the wildfires out west because that wind has shifted. But it's going to be cooler and windy today, and then tonight we see clear skies and drop into the upper 20s. So we do have a freeze watch in effect for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Madison, Shenango, and Otsego County for all of tonight until tomorrow, and a freeze warning for Lewis County. We warm up tomorrow and Friday with no more chance of frost, and then rain comes in on Saturday. The models are in disagreement about when it will start and how heavy it is going to be at this point, because we have one model saying it's going to rain all day, and we have another model saying it will come in until around 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on the start time of that and then how heavy or light it is going to be. So for the rest of today, expect windy conditions, cooler weather. At noon, we'll just be in the mid to upper 40s, and then just in the low 50s today for the high temperature. Tonight, we see clear skies, which allows us to get pretty chilly. We fall into the upper 20s. Frost is going to be possible tonight. Then tomorrow, we'll warm up. We won't be as windy. At noon tomorrow, we'll be in the mid 50s and in the mid 60s for the high temperature with some sun. So for the rest of today, expect the clouds to make way for sun. It's going to be windy, and we will just reach the low 50s. Then tonight, we drop into the upper 20s with frost possible for all of us. Tomorrow, we'll reach the mid 60s. We will warm up to some sun. Low 70s on Friday, so a little bit warmer. And then we do have that chance of rain on Saturday. At this point, don't know the start time of it yet, but we will keep you updated on that. We know it is going to rain on Saturday, and then we'll dry out for the beginning of next week.
If you haven't been outside yet, you might want to bring a jacket. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans. And Hannah, it is a bit chilly out there today.
Yes, I think it is cooler today. We are just going to be seeing highs in the low 50s, and right now we are just mainly in the 40s. If we take a look at our Mesonet cameras, at this point we are seeing some sun now. We did start out with clouds this morning. Now it is partly sunny outside, so a little bit of sunshine to warm us up a little bit, but still pretty chilly. We are just measuring 47 degrees at the Rivers Park Airport in Rome, and it does feel like 40 degrees because we are seeing a stronger wind today. It is coming from the north, so it's not coming from the west like yesterday, so no smoke or haze looks to come in. We will just continue to be partly cloudy for the rest of the day. Once again, cooler and windy today. Highs will just reach the low 50s, and then tonight we do see clear skies. That allows us for a low to fall into the upper 20s, so widespread frost is possible. Definitely bring inside any plants or cover them overnight tonight. But then tomorrow we will warm up, and then no looks of frost on the forecast within the next coming days after tonight. So for today, expect partly cloudy skies to continue. It remains windy and chilly. I will talk a little bit more about that frost tonight. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are starting to see some sunshine now, but we're still chilly and windy with temperatures just in the 40s. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As we can see, peaks of sunshine now. We are seeing partly cloudy skies making their way in. So it looks nice outside, but it is pretty cold, especially compared to what we have been seeing. Temperatures, according to our sky watchers, are just in the 40s. We even just had 36 degrees in Old Forge. We then have 48 degrees in Mohawk and 44 degrees in Otsego. So definitely grab the sweatshirt or the jacket when heading out the door, because it also feels about 5 to 8 degrees cooler than this because the wind is pretty strong this afternoon. But we are still dry on the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. We have a stronger wind coming from the north, so we're not going to be seeing any smoke or haze that we did see yesterday because the wind changed directions. Yesterday the wind was coming from the west. That was bringing in some smoke and haze again. Today we won't be seeing that, but still pretty windy and still cool outside. So Nala and her neighbors are happy that the sun is finally starting to come out, but they look a little bit annoyed because it's cold and then we're going to be seeing frost tonight. So today she's saying hi to Maisie and Flaker. If you are traveling at all today, it should be fine and dry. It's just cool and windy, and we are expecting widespread frost to come in tonight. We do actually get a break in the wind tomorrow for a little bit. We warm up more tomorrow into the 60s with less of a wind, but then it does get windy again for Friday and for Saturday. And the National Weather Service does have a freeze warning in effect for almost all of us. We have Lewis, Oneida, Madison, Shenango, Otsego counties. This goes into effect tonight through tomorrow morning. We have that freeze warning, so if you do have any sensitive plants outside, definitely recommend covering them or bringing them in, because overnight lows tonight fall into the upper 20s. We warm up to sunshine tomorrow and Friday with no more chance of frost in the forecast, but then we do have a chance of rain in the forecast on Saturday. The models are in disagreement. The one model is showing rain all day for Saturday, and then the other model is showing that the rain won't come in until after 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on the start time of the rain, and if it's going to be heavy, light, moderate, we will keep you updated on that. So on our Skycast here today, we just reached the low 50s. We'll be seeing some sun, but it is going to be windy, so it is going to feel a little bit cooler than the actual temperature. Then tonight we have that frost. Widespread frost is possible as we fall into the upper 20s. Tomorrow we warm up more. At noon we'll be in the mid 50s and then the mid 60s for the high temperature with sun, and it's going to be less windy. So for today, expect windy conditions. It's going to just reach the low 50s, so it is going to feel pretty chilly outside and then pretty cold tonight as we see frost come back in. We'll warm up into the 60s tomorrow and into the 70s on Friday with our next chance of rain on Saturday. Gary.
Anna, thank you. Now to the latest on the abortion battle in this half hour. Once again, here is meteorologist Hannah Evans.
We are tracking sunshine now this afternoon, but it is really chilly and it is windy. Temperatures at this point are just in the 40s. So let's take a look at our Mesonet cameras. We are seeing some sun now after a cloudy start. Partly cloudy skies across the region, but look at that temperature. It's just 47 degrees being measured at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome. And it actually feels like 40 degrees because of that really strong wind coming out of the north. So for the rest of today, it's going to be cooler and windy. We are going to be seeing some sun, but overall just a really chilly day compared to what we're used to seeing. And then we will be seeing widespread frost tonight, so make sure you bring those plants inside or cover them because it is expected that we will be seeing frost. We will warm up tomorrow and then no chance of frost in the near future. So for today, expect partly cloudy skies, low 50s, windy conditions, and I will talk a little bit more about that frost coming up, Gary.
Anna, thank you. Fire investigators and investigators.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are seeing some sunshine now, but it is really chilly and windy. Let's take a look at downtown Utica. As we can see, partly cloudy skies have moved in now after seeing some clouds for all of this morning. So now we are seeing partly cloudy skies now, but it is really chilly and windy outside, especially compared to what we have been seeing. Our sky watchers have us mostly in the 40s, but we do have 36 degrees still in Old Forge. Then we have 46 degrees in Clinton and 44 degrees in Otsego. So really chilly here at noon. It is very windy as well, but we are seeing dry conditions on our Yorkville battery. Storm Tracker 2 with Doppler radar, and that strong wind from the north is blowing in today, making it feel a little bit cooler than the actual temperature. It is different from yesterday. Yesterday we were seeing a westerly wind that was bringing in some smoke and haze still from some wildfires out west, but now since it has changed to a northerly wind, that's not the case today. We are seeing some sun. But once again, very windy. Tomorrow we will be seeing a break from the wind, but then we do see windy conditions come back in for Friday and Saturday. But tonight what we have to deal with is the possibility of some frost. The National Weather Service does have a freeze warning out for almost all of us. Lewis, Oneida, Madison, Shenango, Southern Herkimer, Otsego counties. This goes into effect for all of tonight through 9 a.m. tomorrow. So definitely if you do have sensitive plants outside, bring them in tonight or cover them, because it does look like we are going to be seeing some widespread frost. But then we warm up for Thursday, Friday with no chance of frost. No chance of frost over the weekend, but we do have a chance of rain on Saturday. The models are still in disagreement on when it will move in. The one model is showing that it's going to be raining for all day on Saturday, starting early in the morning. The other model is showing that it won't come in until after 2 p.m. So we will keep you updated on that. So for the rest of today, we will reach just the low 50s and it will remain windy with some sun. But then tonight we drop into the upper 20s with widespread frost possible. Then tomorrow we reach the mid-50s at noon and we'll be in the mid-60s for the high temperature. Less of a wind tomorrow. It's going to feel a little bit better outside with some sun. So for today, expect some sun, but it's going to be windy and a bit cold compared to what we're used to. We'll just be in the low 50s, and then we'll drop into the upper 20s tonight with frost as it remains clear. We'll warm up tomorrow into the mid-60s, and then a little bit more on Friday into the mid-70s. Our next chance of rain does come in on Saturday. We'll keep you updated on the start time of that. Gary.
Anna, thank you. Sticking with the weather, farmers across the state of Georgia.
With Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, and we are talking about temperatures really are winter-like.
Yeah, below freezing for sure. No snow though, but we are talking about frost, and that is going to be widespread tomorrow morning. The National Weather Service has a freeze warning in effect for all of central New York. You may be wondering, why is it not in effect for the Adirondacks? Are the Adirondacks going to be warmer? No. The Weather Service has special rules for how they issue freeze warnings, and they don't consider the growing season started yet in the Adirondacks, and so they're holding off there. But again, we're expecting all areas to fall below freezing tonight, and if you did plant anything sensitive to frost, you're going to need to cover it up tonight or bring it inside because it will get damaged from the frost here tonight. Current temperature is 51 degrees. The dew point's 21. It's really dry outside. That's another thing. It's cool, but this type of weather really helps spread brush fire. So I know the burn ban is over in New York State, but it's days like today that have that high risk for brush fire spread with low humidity and gusty winds. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's dry. It'll stay sunny this evening, and it's going to be a cool one. We're taking a look at how cold it gets tonight, and if we're near record territory for that, look at that forecast that's coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Cold enough tonight to skate. You may.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
A beautiful but very cool day across central New York. A lot of places in the 40s, even with the bright May sunshine. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It stays clear tonight, and that's going to allow for temperatures to fall below freezing across all of central New York. A widespread frost is expected. Again, just a beautiful day. We saw some clouds earlier, but the sunshine has dominated our afternoons. This is a time lapse from our Utica National Tower camera overlooking Cooperstown. We've seen a breeze as well. It's going to be cold tonight. Many areas fall into the 20s, and frost again is expected to be widespread. So if you have any sensitive or frost-sensitive vegetation, bring it inside or cover them tonight. Utica gets down to 29, Remsen 25, 22 in Old Forge, Middleville 27. Across southern valleys, down to 29 in Herkimer, 28 in Cooperstown, 28 in Norwich and Hamilton, down to 29. So again, widespread frost is going to be around tomorrow morning. Do we get another chance for frost in our future? Well, right now it looks like we'll stay away from frost, but I do want to point out Sunday night, down to 39 in town, which means outlying areas north and south of the Mohawk Valley, you may not be 100% done with frost just yet. So if you're planning on planting this weekend, if you're in one of those cold pockets, you're going to want to wait another week. In the Mohawk Valley, I think we're mainly done, but again, we're going to keep an eye on Sunday night. The allergy report, well, you can see how high the levels of pollen are in the sky. In fact, you can even see a light coating of pollen on some of the car windshields today. We'll start to get lower levels on Saturday. That's because some rain arrives, and that will finally help alleviate some of the high pollen. One thing that we're not going to see any relief from is the wind. Maybe a little bit tomorrow, but windy conditions expected Friday. Breezy conditions for Saturday and Sunday. Pretty quiet conditions out there today. Again, high pressure and control of our weather. It's cold tonight, widespread frost, but we will see the sunshine tomorrow, and temperatures are going to warm up. Tomorrow looks like a really nice day, a chilly start, but light winds, lots of sunshine, temperatures climb into the mid-60s. The weather stays quiet tomorrow night. A south wind kicks in for Friday, so we do recover pretty nicely here after a frosty start. Temperatures will climb into the 70s as we look ahead just 2 days from now. Frost tonight down to 27. Tomorrow, sunshine. Again, a pleasant day, a light wind, a high of 66. Storm Tracker 2's 7-day forecast. Rain expected on Saturday that looks to be steady and looks to last for most of the day. But the weather does clear out for Sunday, and pleasant weather, dry, sunny skies expected early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Coming up in the next half hour, the International Space Station is back. We'll let you know when you can spot it locally. All right.
And we have some clear skies ahead, too, so that
Lots
should
of
help.
opportunities.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Well, Prince Harry and his wife, meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are tracking some cold weather tonight. In fact, we are likely going to break the record. We're calling for a low temperature of 27 degrees. The record low for tomorrow's date is 29, set back in 1981. We've had later frost before, but the low temperature tomorrow happens to be a little bit warmer than what we're expecting to happen in our area. Again, widespread frost is expected across all of central New York, which makes the next graphic a little odd to show here, but it is really important, even though the weather's chilly, to understand that we have brush fire spread. Brush fires can spread very easily in conditions like today. It's not the temperature, but it's the low humidity and it's the wind. We still have that fire danger across the area. We really recommend people don't have campfires or do any burning for the next couple of days until we start to get some rainfall, which we will as we look ahead. It looks like Saturday will be our day that we'll start to see some much needed rainfall. Taking the dog out for a walk this evening, it's going to be a cool evening for sure. Temperatures will be in the 40s, but it is going to be a sunny one. Tonight's featured dog is Rock from South Trenton. We're tracking some warmer temperatures ahead. A look at that forecast is coming up. Kristen, back over to you.
The New York State Canal System opens up.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A lovely day on the cool side, but we did see plenty of sunshine after a generally cloudy start. This is a time lapse of the afternoon from our downtown camera on the Nexus Center overlooking the city of Utica. And you can see those fair weather cumulus clouds dancing across the sky. And as we go forward in time, there's less and less of them as skies continue to clear out. That sets the stage for a cold night with clear skies across the area. We're dry in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. With clear skies, we'll be able to take advantage of this. We'll be able to see the International Space Station tonight. If you're willing to stay up until 10:15, it'll be visible for 5 minutes. You're going to want to look to the northwest here. You also want to have a good vantage point to the north because this is a relatively low pass, about 21 degrees above the horizon. The International Space Station will be moving across our local night sky over the next several nights for the next couple of weeks, and we'll continue to keep you posted when we have clear skies and a good vantage point. Temperatures are going to trend upward once we get through tonight with widespread frost. I don't foresee any frost in the near term, We do have to watch Sunday night. We're down to 39. I think we'll stay away from frost in the Mohawk Valley, but if you're looking to plant, and if you live in the valley, I think you're going to be okay after tonight. But if you live in those outlying spots that tend to be 3, 4, 5 degrees cooler than the Mohawk Valley, you might want to hold off for one more weekend as we get closer to Memorial Day. I think our weather will continue to get warmer. We'll stay away from frost. Do you have to cut the lawn? You've got the next 2 days before rain returns on Saturday. Finally, some much needed rain is actually going to be in the forecast. Unfortunately, it's for Saturday to start out the weekend. Alder Creek 45 degrees, Curtis Corners 46, Inlet 42, Westford 47, Sequoia 45, and Whitesboro with 50 degrees. A chilly evening across central New York. High pressure in control of our weather. That will bring us clear skies tonight. Most areas fall into the upper 20s tonight. If you have any sensitive plants that you planted, you're going to want to either cover them up or bring them inside tonight as we fall below freezing. Sunshine tomorrow, a nice recovery from the 20s to the mid 60s. So a nice warm day tomorrow, light winds. Clear skies tomorrow night, no frost. We're down into the 40s, and the weather looks lovely. On Friday, a south wind can help bring temperatures into the 70s. Tonight, frost, 27 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs in the mid-60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Looking at nice weather here Friday, 72. Rain returns Saturday, but it's out of here by Sunday. We'll get a chance to dry out. More sunshine ahead early next week with highs on Monday in the upper 60s and into the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Forecast at 6. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We're tracking cold weather tonight. A freeze warning in effect for all of central New York as temperatures fall below 32 degrees. If you have any frost-sensitive plants that you planted, you're going to want to cover them up or bring them inside tonight as the entire area falls below freezing. The Adirondacks are not included in this freeze warning because the National Weather Service has special rules about issuing these. They don't consider the Adirondacks in the growing season right now. And so that's why they're left out, but they'll fall below freezing too. The record for tonight is 29. So we're calling for a record low of 27. That record, by the way, goes back to 1981. We'll likely tie or break it here by tomorrow morning. Current temperature is 49 degrees. It's cool out there. The dew point's 19. We're looking at clear skies, and it's going to be chilly this evening as temperatures fall into the 40s. Again, looking at a cold night tonight, but the weather does warm up, and we're tracking our next chance of some much needed rain in the forecast, and that's coming out. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thanks. You may have heard your grandparents say.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A lovely day, chilly, but we've seen plenty of sunshine, especially this afternoon. Let's take a time lapse of downtown Utica from our Nexus camera. And we had fair weather cumulus clouds throughout the day, kind of dancing across the sky. And you see less and less of them heading into this evening as dry air and high pressure takes over. That's going to lead to clear skies tonight and some chilly weather. That was a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Will be dry tonight. Overnight lows widespread in the 20s. We're looking at widespread frost, a freeze for all of central New York, down to 29 in Utica, Boonville 23, Middleville 27, Little Falls 29, across southern valleys again below freezing everywhere. Hamilton 29, Oneonta 29, Richfield 28, Canajoharie 30. If you have, and if you did plant frost-sensitive plants, you're going to need to bring them inside or cover them up tonight. I think this is going to be our one and only chance for frost this week. We might see some frost in parts of the area Sunday night. More on that in just a second. Probably surprised to see this graphic next, but we have the risk for brush fire spreading. Even though it's not warm, it's really dry and it's really windy, and those are the two ingredients that help brush fire spread. So even though the burn ban is over for New York State, we highly recommend not burning or having campfires tonight, even though it is chilly out there, just because this type of weather is very favorable to brush fire spread. That goes with us through tomorrow as well as Friday, but we do have some rain in the forecast by Saturday. Looking at the overnight lows ahead, I don't see any frost in the short term, but again, we are watching Sunday night. We're down to 39. Rain in the forecast for Saturday, that's going to help knock down the allergies. So we'll still see high levels for the next couple of days, but some relief in sight. The chilly evening across central New York, our Skywatchers checking in. 45 in Alder Creek, 45 in West Leiden. Across Southern Valleys, Hartwick 45 in Westford. Dave checking in with 47 degrees. This pile of cold air dropping in from the north will continue to do so tonight. It's actually causing snow showers in northern Maine, believe it or not. So we'll stay dry tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the 20s. Sunshine, pleasant weather ahead into the 60s here tomorrow after a chilly start. Frost tonight down to 27. Sunshine tomorrow, beautiful 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Tracking rain Saturday. I think that lasts most of the day. High of 64. We're dry on Sunday, and a very pleasant stretch of weather returns early next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
Bill. Well, still to come. News Channel 2 at 6. The Spring and Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. It's getting chilly out there tonight.
It is. So we're expecting overnight lows to drop down into the 20s. We will likely break or tie the record set back in 1981. It just goes to show you that this is not normal to get into the 20s. We get frost, but into the 20s, it's pretty hard to do at Griffiths and Rome. Because of that, we have a freeze warning issued by the National Weather Service in effect for all of central New York. Side note, if you're looking at these maps from the Weather Service, you might be wondering, why is northern Herkimer and Hamilton and northern Fulton counties not part of this? Are they not going to be as cold? Well, they will be as cold, if not colder, but the Weather Service issues freeze warnings based on whether or not areas are in what they consider the growing season, and the Weather Service has deemed the Adirondacks not in the growing season yet, so that's why there's a lack of warnings for those areas. But again, it's cold everywhere. We're down to 37 degrees. If you didn't bring in your plants yet, you still have time. Frost-sensitive plants need to be brought in tonight if you want to save them, because it is going to be cold. Again, temperatures will drop down into the 20s. Looking at the radar this evening, clear skies. A little bit of high-level smoke in the sky again, too. We had a lovely sunset. Tonight, we're down into the upper 20s frost. Got some warmer weather ahead, though. Look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, the Kiwanis Veteran.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are taking a look backwards in time. This was the sunset this evening from our Oneonta camera. This is a time lapse of it. It was a beautiful one. We had some smoke high in the atmosphere briefly return. I think we are going to be seeing some hazy skies over the next several days. But the big story is the cold temperatures tonight. We're expecting widespread frost across all of central New York. We're down into the 20s. In fact, low 20s in some of the colder spots like Old Forge 22, Boonville 23, Remsen 25, Utica 29. Across Southern Valleys, 28 for the low in Cooperstown, Canajoharie 30, Hamilton 29, and New Hartford with 30. If you have sensitive plants that are sensitive to frost, you're going to want to bring them inside or cover them up in order for them to make it through tonight. Again, nobody's going to be able to escape the frost across central New York. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2, Doppler radar. The weather looks quiet. Our risk for brush fire spread is high tomorrow, or at least higher than normal. We'll call it moderate here. I wanted to point this out because I know it seems kind of unusual to be talking about brush fire spread when it's so cold and talking about frost. But wind and low humidity are the ingredients that spread wildfires. And we will see at least the low humidity tomorrow and more wind in our future. So that is not going to go away anytime soon. The frost will, once we get through tonight, look at the overnight lows. They do get warmer over the next several days. Although I do want to point out Sunday night, we're down to 39 in town. So the outlying areas may be seeing a light frost Sunday night and into Monday. So if you're looking to plant in the Mohawk Valley this weekend, may be okay. But if you live in one of these colder spots, I think you're going to want to wait another week before it's going to be safe from frost. High levels of pollen in the air over the next several days, but we do get a break because we're tracking some rain as we head into Saturday. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, clear skies, overnight lows, again, fall below freezing. It's a beautiful day tomorrow. It's sunny, it's less windy, and it's a lot warmer. Even though we start out chilly, we climb into the 50s by noon and into the mid-60s by 5 p.m. We're away from frost tomorrow night as we drop down into the 40s and the winds turn into the south Friday. Plenty of sunshine, nice and warm. Temperatures climbing into the 70s. Frost tonight, 27 for the low. Sunshine tomorrow, pleasant, high of 66. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, mostly sunny Friday, 72 degrees. Steady rain is expected Saturday, 64. The weather for the rest of the week, the weather for next week looks nice with high temperatures in the upper 60s Monday and into the low to mid 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Tonight, we bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Get your coats. You and I got coats on to go home. It's going to be chilly out tonight.
I know. Yeah, we're talking about widespread frost in the 20s. In fact, looking through the record books, I think we're going to break the record.
Wow.
Tomorrow morning, the record low 29 degrees, set back in 1981. The forecasted low is 27. While this won't be a record frost, it will be a record for the low temperature tomorrow. We have a freeze warning in effect for all of central New York as we look at this map here. I want to point out, if you're following maps from the National Weather Service and you're wondering why northern Herkimer, Hamilton, northern Fulton County have been left out of this map, it's not because they're not going to fall below freezing. It's all about how the Weather Service issues freeze warnings. They issue freeze warnings during what they call the growing season, and they are considering the Adirondacks not in the growing season at the moment, and the rest of the area is. But you can see we're already on our way. 35 degrees is the current temperature at Griffiths and Rome. Clear skies. We're looking at dry conditions on the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Tonight, we're expecting overnight lows again in the upper 20s. Warmer weather on the way, though. We're tracking that and our next chance of some much-needed rain. Look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight,
the WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. A lovely day today. On the cool side, but we've seen bright sunshine. Tonight's sunset was gorgeous. We had very colorful sunset. This is a time lapse of it from our tower camera overlooking Oneonta. We did see some wildfire smoke move back into the picture from Canada. We've been seeing this for the past several days, and I think that's going to be around through tomorrow. So the skies look a little hazy. It's because of that. The bigger story, though, the frost tonight. We're expecting overnight lows to drop into the 20s. It's not too late to bring in plants tonight. If you have frost-sensitive plants, bring them in, cover them up. You still have a little bit of time, but time is running out because temperatures are falling quickly. Rome, 27 degrees, Middleville, 27, Little Falls down to 29. This is the low temperatures expected tonight. New Hartford down to 30, Morris, 27, Cooperstown an overnight low tonight of 28 degrees. So all of central New York is expected to see frost. I don't think anybody is going to escape it this time around. The radar in Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar is looking pretty quiet. The weather remains dry tomorrow with light winds. And just a reminder, I know the state burn ban is now over, but going forward, we still have very low humidity and we'll have the winds pick up later this week. So we still have the risk of brush fires spreading. And it's advised to use caution if you're going to be burning or making campfires here over the next couple of days. Temperatures will climb into the 60s tomorrow, into the 70s on Friday. Notice that we do stay away from frost for the next several nights, but I want to point out Sunday night, down to 39. While we'll stay away from frost, or at least we're expecting to stay away from frost in the Mohawk Valley, that's cold enough where the outlying areas may see it Sunday night. So just be careful if you're going to be planting this weekend. We'll keep you posted on frost chances going forward. High levels of pollen in the air until Saturday. That's when we'll see some much needed rain. We'll stay dry tonight as high pressure continues to control our weather. Again, we'll start out with temperatures below freezing tomorrow morning. 7 a.m., we're into the upper 30s. It warms up quickly. Temperatures into the mid-60s in the afternoon with light winds for a change. The weather remains dry tomorrow night. Again, we stay away from frost. A south wind takes over for Friday, and that's going to help propel temperatures into the 70s. Frost tonight, a low of 27, a record low temperature. Tomorrow, sunshine pleasant, a nice rebound, temperatures in the mid-60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, low 70s Friday, steady rain returns Saturday. Sunday looks dry and warm, a high of 70. The weather looks very nice next week with sunshine Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be right back.